Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bold and Beautiful podcast, where we are discussing all things bold and beautiful. I'm your host, Amanda, and I've decided to name this week's episode A Show of Mercy, because that's exactly what happened this week. I have a couple of things to tell you guys before we get started. I have decided to take off next week for Thanksgiving. So I will be back in 2 weeks, and I will cover both of those weeks in that episode, so everyone will be on the same page. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is I am going to start having guest co-hosts. So if any of you guys are interested, please get in touch with me and let me know. We will definitely see about making that happen. The only requirements are that you love the bold and the beautiful, that you love talking about the bold and the beautiful, and that you will commit to watching all 5 episodes the week you're co-hosting. So if any of you guys are interested, make sure you get in touch with me and let me know. Now let's get into the news. Carla Mosley, who plays Maya, is coming back from maternity leave soon. So we should see her in a few weeks. Also, the project I told y'all about a while back that Carla Mosley and Lawrence St. Victor, who plays Carter, are working on together is finally out to binge watch. You guys should really check it out. It's called Web Locked. It's really funny. And you can get it at Vimeo.com. Vimeo.com. Check it out, guys. It's really funny. And that's all for the news. So enough with the chit chat. Let's get to the recap. Monday, November the 12th. The show opens at Forrester Creations in the executive office with Brooke and Ridge. Ridge is trying desperately to convince Brooke not to worry about Bill. Ridge is convinced that if Bill had proof, he would have had him arrested already. And then Brooke tells Ridge that she is ashamed of what he did. Ridge tries to say that his decision had nothing to do with her, but Brooke points out that it would affect her if he got arrested. But for some reason, Ridge is convinced that Bill has no proof. Meanwhile, over at Spencer Publications in Bill's office with Justin, Bill, and Ken, the computer whiz, is getting on their nerves. He tells Bill that it is going to take some time to get all of the judge's emails and calls and texts, so he has to be patient. And Bill says, okay, that's fine. I have another plan too. So Bill explains his plan is to have Ken text Ridge's phone and then text the judge's phone and make it look like they text each other, and basically to set up a meeting so that they can go there and record it. And so Ken does this for them, and then they wait. Over at Forrester Creations at Pam's desk, she is answering the phones and she's really busy, and Donna walks up, and Pam is so happy to see her, and they're hugging and laughing, and Quinn walks up and asks, what is Donna doing there? What the heck is Donna doing there? Quinn realizes that she has been extremely rude, and she says, oh, sorry, how are you doing, Donna? But she obviously doesn't mean it. So it's not a good cover-up. Then Quinn walks off, and Donna asks Pam if Quinn is always like that, and Pam says, you don't know the half of it. Pam tells Donna the whole story about all the stuff that happened between her and Quinn, and the wedding and the whole drama. Donna is surprised by Quinn's behavior, and I think Pam feels like Donna still might have feelings for Eric, or at least she's hoping that she does, and she even says that if anyone can save Eric from Quinn, it's Donna. So Pam lets Donna know that she thinks Quinn is a vicious witch. And Pam is definitely trying to get Donna to help her break up Eric and Quinn. That is obvious. So Donna and Pam are talking, and Quinn walks up, and she hears the very end of the conversation. Donna gets up to go to the restroom, and then Quinn quickly tells Pam that she really shouldn't go up against her. But Pam feels she has no choice because she wants Quinn gone. Back in the executive office, Ridge gets the text and he takes off to go meet the judge. Then the door opens and Katie comes in. And Brooke explains what just happened. So now Brooke and Katie are upset. And Katie says that she has a really bad feeling about this. So they're both freaking out a little bit. And they're really hoping Bill has no evidence. Meanwhile, out in the Forrester Creations parking lot, Ridge and Craig, the judge, meet up. Both of them are freaking out. What they don't know is that Bill and Justin are also in the parking lot with binoculars and a shotgun listening device. It was quite funny to see Justin with that listening device sticking out the window, and Bill Spencer with his binocular looking across the parking lot. It was pretty funny. So we're back. Ridge and Craig, they're talking about everything that happened and their deal and just the whole thing. And the judge is upset that he let Ridge talk him into this. So Bill and Justin have recorded all of this. And you know what? These two are toast. Ridge is trying to calm the judge down. So they start talking, and then they both realize that neither one of them text each other. So Ridge automatically knows that Bill, this is Bill. That Bill did this and that he's watching. So he starts looking, and then he sees Bill and Justin, and they roll up the window and start to drive off. So Ridge takes off running after the vehicle, and that's how Monday ends. So that brings us into Tuesday, November the 13th. The show opens at Forrester Creations, and we are outside in the parking lot. We pick up right where we left off. Ridge and Craig, the judge, are running after Bill's vehicle, but he takes off and he's gone, and they know it was him, and they also know they are caught. Back inside, at Pam's desk, Donna tells Pam that she really shouldn't let Quinn get to her. She's definitely not worth it. Over in the executive office with Brooke, Katie, and Thorne. Thorne walks in and he wants to know what's going on. Before they can fully explain, the door opens and it's Ridge and Craig. They walk in together and everyone's like, ah. So Ridge explains to everyone that they got caught and that Bill knows everything. So Katie, of course, like anyone, like any mother, she's freaking out. She's really upset. She yells at Ridge that she can't believe he would do this in the first place. And Ridge says, well, he knows, and now it's too late. So basically, Katie's really scared that she might lose Will, which is totally understandable. And then Ridge gets a phone call from Bill. Bill wants to meet him at his office with Katie, Brooke, and the judge now. So Ridge tells them that Bill wants to see all of them. Across the hall in the side office with Quinn and Eric, Quinn tells Eric about her run-in with Pam, and Eric thinks that they rile each other up too much. And Quinn explains that Pam doesn't respect her, and she never has, and she never will. Well, Eric doesn't want their personal issues to affect their work. He wants Quinn to give Pam a break. This does not make Quinn happy. Then Eric walks out of the office, and he walks right up to Pam's desk, and he sees Donna and Pam, and he says hello and small talk. And then Pam asks Eric if he would consider hiring Donna to help with her receptionist duties as a co-receptionist. And Eric is a little bit surprised, but he doesn't answer immediately. Now we head over to Spencer Publications, and we're in Bill's office. And Bill and Justin are so happy. They have everything they need to bring Ridge down. Then they both get up and leave the office because you know Bill, he likes to make an entrance. So Katie, Brooke, a few minutes later, Katie, Brooke, Ridge, Thorne, and Craig, they all arrive to Bill's office and they walk in, but Bill and Justin are not there. In true Bill Spencer fashion, he had to make a grand entrance. So then him and Justin into the office, extremely smug. Bill explains how it all makes sense to him now because it was a conspiracy. And then Ridge points out that he has no evidence to prove it. And then Justin plays the recording of their conversation in the parking lot, and everyone is shocked. And Bill looks at Ridge and he says, "Gotcha." And that's how Tuesday ends. So that brings us into Wednesday, November the 14th. The show opens at Spencer Publications. We're in Bill's office with Bill, Justin, Brooke, Ridge, Katie, Thorne, and Craig the judge. We pick up right where we left off yesterday. Justin is playing everyone the recording that they made of Ridge and Craig talking in the parking lot. They know that they are caught now. So Bill tells Ridge what he did was hurtful and underhanded, but most of all criminal. So what happens next? Everyone is freaking out and scared to death because they don't know what Bill's thinking or what he's going to do. Now we head over to Forrester Creations, and we're at Pam's desk with Eric, Pam, and Donna. Eric offers Donna the job as co-receptionist, and Donna is thrilled. She said she would love to work there. And Pam is also thrilled because she has it in her mind that Donna's going to help her break up Eric and Quinn. And Donna tells Eric she really appreciates the opportunity. And Eric walks into the side office. And you can tell that Pam is convinced Donna's the key to getting rid of Quinn forever. I'm not sure yet. I just don't know. Meanwhile, in the side office with Eric and Quinn, Eric tells Quinn that he hired Donna and that it was Pam's idea. And this makes Quinn mad. She doesn't like it one bit. So Eric explains that there's no reason for her to be upset. And there's no reason for her to feel threatened. Donna's a good person. And he doesn't see any harm in helping her. So Eric assures Quinn that they were together a long time ago. And there's no reason for her to be mad or threatened by Donna. Meanwhile, back at Pam's desk, Donna admits to Pam that she does miss being with Eric. And this makes Pam really happy. She is encouraging Donna to tell Eric that she still has feelings for him. And Pam apologizes to Donna for all of the mean things that she has done to her in the past. And they do like a collage of all the mean things she's done to her. And it was a lot of stuff. If you don't remember it or you don't know about it, you should look it up because it's pretty funny. Now we head back over to Spencer Publications in Bill's office. Ridge and Craig are trying to tell Bill that his recording is illegal. But Bill laughs. He knows that he has them at his mercy. And he's gloating and bragging and acting all superior. And he starts saying that he's always a step ahead and that Ridge should never try to trick him. He should have known better. So Bill goes around the room and he asks Thorne and Katie if they were in on it. And before he can get around to everyone, Ridge steps up and assures Bill that no one was in on it, only himself. And then Katie explains everything. And Brooke admits that she was the one who told Katie. So of course, Bill is throwing it in Ridge's face that Brooke was The only one who took his side. And you can clearly see Ridge is getting angry. So Bill tells Ridge that he's done. He's cooked. And Ridge snaps and he says, okay then, call the police. Call them now or don't. But quit wasting my time. And do what you're going to do already. Then Brooke steps in. And she pleads with Bill to prove that he has changed. And she begs him to show mercy. Because Ridge and Craig both have families too. And that's how Wednesday ends. Ridge is not happy that Brooke is begging Bill. But he's also not stopping her. But you can definitely tell he doesn't like it one bit. That brings us into Thursday, November the 15th. The show opens in Bill's office. Brooke is still pleading with Bill and begging him to have mercy on Ridge. Brooke is desperate to save Ridge at this point, and she begs him to prove he's changed and to let it go. So Bill tells Ridge that he is a poser, and he knows he did this for revenge and not for Will. Then he surprises everyone and tells them that he has decided not to press charges. Brooke is shocked. Everyone's shocked, actually. Bill explains that he really would love to see Ridge in handcuffs, but he meant what he said in the hospital. He has changed. He will not call the authorities. They are both free to go back to their normal lives. Justin is not happy about this decision. And Ridge finally asks, what's the catch, Bill? And Bill assures him there's no catch, but that Ridge needs to stop testing him. Ridge is not buying this, and he says, look, I want to know the catch. And Bill says the catch is he wants his parental rights back now, ASAP. And Katie tells Bill, of course, she will share custody. And then Craig apologizes to Bill, and he says, consider it done. Katie also apologizes for not telling him the truth. And then Brooke makes Ridge tell Bill, thank you for not pressing charges, which he does so very rudely. Then, very rudely back, Bill asks if he can talk to Brooke alone, which of course pisses Ridge off even more. And he says, I'm not leaving my wife here with you. Over at Forrester Creations, in the executive office with Wyatt and Liam. Wyatt and Liam are spending time together just catching up. And Wyatt tells Liam about how he was really surprised by Bill's reaction when he told him he would be working at Forrester Creations instead of Spencer Publications. He reacted very well. And this news really surprises Liam. Then Donna walks into the office with Will, and all the Spencer brothers get to hang out together. The brothers are playing and having fun, hanging out, and they're asking questions about how long Donna will be in town, and Donna assures them she will be staying for a while. Then Donna and Will leave the office, and a couple minutes later, Katie and Thorne walk in, and they tell Liam and Wyatt the news that Bill has his parental rights back, and they're sharing custody again, which makes Liam and Wyatt really happy, but also really curious. Now we head back over to Bill's office, and Ridge leaves very mad. He is pissed. He leaves and slams the door because Brooke has agreed to talk to Bill alone, even though he said no. Which I think is kind of not really a good thing to do, Brooke. Of course, as soon as Ridge is gone, the minute he's gone, Bill starts making a play for Brooke. And he is making her feel uncomfortable. You can just tell. So Bill explains that he has changed because of her, and everything he's doing is to make her happy, because he never wants to hurt her again. And that's how Thursday ends. Personally, I don't think it's appropriate if another male especially an ex, wants to talk to you and your current husband says he's not comfortable with it, he doesn't want you to do it, then you shouldn't do it, because that's only going to cause problems. So that brings us into Friday, November the 16th. The show opens at Spencer Publications in Bill's office with Brooke and Bill. Brooke wants to know what she can do to thank him for not pressing charges on Ridge. Bill explains he did this for her because he didn't want to hurt her again. And Brooke tells Bill that he needs to change for himself, not for her. He needs to change for himself and his children. Brooke is clearly proud and impressed that Bill did the right thing, and she thinks he has really changed. Yeah, right. Bill tells Brooke that his life is about Will and herself. So he's saying, my life is about Will and Brooke now. Brooke is married. Okay, newsflash. He understands that she's married, but he wants to make sure she knows he wants her back, and that no matter what, he would do anything for her. And then Bill tells Brooke that he had a wake-up call in that hospital, and he realizes he had everything when he was married to her. And he just didn't realize it. Over at Forrester Creations, in the executive office with Katie, Thorne, Liam, and Wyatt. Thorne gets upset because Katie spills the beans and tells Liam and Wyatt everything. They are both shocked that Ridge would do that. They are shocked that he would do such a thing. They're even more shocked that Bill didn't press charges. They're very curious of why this has gone down the way it's gone down, basically. So Katie wants everyone to just forget that it ever happened. And then Ridge walks into the office, and he can clearly tell everyone knows by the looks on Wyatt and Liam's faces. Wyatt and Liam are very upset, as they should be. That is their father. So Ridge, Katie, and Thorne explain everything. They just lay it all out there. They tell him everything, how it went down, the whole thing. And Ridge says, look, I know you're upset, but I was helping Will. And Liam asked, wait a minute, why didn't my dad press charges? Because that doesn't make any sense. And Wyatt agrees. So Ridge admits that Bill is doing all of this because he wants Brooke back. It's all for Brooke. And Liam and Wyatt are like, what? And Ridge says, let me tell you something. Bill has an agenda. He is not coming after your wife, Liam, anymore. He's coming after mine now. He hasn't changed at all. Now we head back over to Bill's office with Brooke and Bill. And Brooke is uncomfortable with the conversation and where it's going. And she attempts to leave. And she says, you know what, this is not a good idea. I think I should go. But Bill stops her, of course, to plead with her one last time. He wants her back. Yeah, we know. She knows. I really cannot stand guys that don't take no for an answer. So Brooke tells him, I believe you have changed. So Brooke does believe he's changed. And she says, I think you're a better man now. But I'm with Ridge. And then Bill says, I just want you to know I will always love you forever and a day. And I'll do anything for you no matter what. And that's how Friday ends. Personally, I think it's inappropriate for Brooke to be spending time with Bill alone. It's not like he's her best friend or, a family member. He's her ex. Inappropriate. And it makes it even worse because of what he's saying to her. She clearly knows that he wants her back. It's inappropriate. And I don't like it. I also think that Donna could cause some trouble for Quinn. It seems Pam is very determined to break them up. So I guess we'll have to see how that plays out. So that brings us to the end of the episode. And I am really curious of what you guys think about everything that's going on. So if you have any comments or feedback, or if you are interested in being a guest co-host, email me at amanda@theboldandbeautifulpodcast.com. I would love to hear from you guys. I am also on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and I'll put the links in the show notes. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and I hope you all have a fun and safe Thanksgiving this week. I'll be back in your ears in 2 weeks. Until then, bye, guys.